and I picked up the hammer, and I stood on top of the counter, and I hit her in the head with the hammer, and she screamed out, "What the fuck?" And then I jumped off the counter, and then I hit her again with the hammer, and again and again.
This is Sarah Vercauteren, a 27-year-old woman from Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, now serving a life sentence for the murder of her own mother.
Now to this big story, a woman found dead in her Westmoreland County mobile home. It's a story we've been following all morning long, and now state police have just released brand new details in their investigation. Channel 4 Action News reporter Amber Nicotra live with what we've just learned. Amber.
Yeah, we just learned that police are interviewing every single person who may have had contact with the victim. The last time anybody heard from her, we're told, was about 3 days before she was found murdered inside her home. Take a look. This is the victim, 51-year-old Dawn Marie Wagner. Her body found inside her Salem Township home. Police say there was a lot of physical evidence at the crime scene. However, how she died and where she was found, well, those are details police are not yet releasing.
On New Year's Eve, 2013, Sarah was living in a mobile home with her mother, Dawn Marie Wagner, and her 2-year-old son. The relationship between Sarah and her mother had been tense for years. At the time, Sarah was struggling with heroin addiction. She had recently lost her job and was facing eviction. According to court records and her own statement to police, the conflict on that fateful day began when her mother refused to let her use the car. Sarah had planned to meet her drug dealer, but when her mother told her no, something in Sarah snapped. She grabbed a hammer from the kitchen. She struck her mother in the head multiple times, and when the blows didn't kill her, she wrapped duct tape around her hands and tried to strangle her. Afterward, Sarah left the house. She took her mother's bank card, withdrew several $100s in cash, and drove off in the stolen car, taking her 2-year-old son with her. She checked into a nearby motel, used heroin, and stayed there for several days. Meanwhile, her mother's body remained in the home, undiscovered for over a week. It was only when Dawn Wagner's husband, who had been away at the time, returned and found the trailer locked and dark that police were called. What they found inside was described as gruesome. Blood on the walls, the floor, and the couch. The body remained in the living room, untouched for over a week, partially bound in duct tape with multiple blunt force injuries to the skull. Investigators began tracing the bank card activity and reviewing security footage from ATMs. It didn't take long to find Sarah. She was located during a traffic stop, still driving her mother's vehicle, with her son in the back seat. After her arrest, Sarah was taken to the Pennsylvania State Police Station, where she agreed to speak with detectives. What followed was a 50-minute recorded interview. During that time, Sarah gave a full account of what happened, describing the attack, the days that followed, and her reasons for leaving the scene. What she reveals in that room is more than just a confession. It offers a window into her mindset, her reasoning, and what ultimately led her to take a life. After confirming her name and date of birth, the detective doesn't waste any time. He immediately begins questioning Sarah about the timeline of events from that day.
Sarah, for the record, can you state your full name and date of birth?
Sarah Dawn Vercauteren, and my date of birth is 10/02/88.
Sarah, you know why you're here today? Okay. All right, basically you're here today regarding an incident that happened involving your mother. Okay? What can you tell me about the incident that happened back on Tuesday, December 31st?
Let me tell you everything that happened.
Yes.
My mother came home at about 6:30 at night, and she was in the living room and was talking about how she's fed up with everything and fed up with people using her, and my dad, and stuff like that. And I was really sick, and I asked her if I could use her car to go get marijuana, but I was really gonna go get heroin, and I think she kind of knew that. She told me no, and I just wanted to get high, and so I went into the kitchen, and she was in the living room, watching TV, smoking a cigarette, and I was making pizza, and her back was towards the kitchen, so she couldn't see me. And I asked her again to use her car, and she said, no, I'm not using my vehicle. I don't care about marijuana. You're not using it. And I got really, really, really upset, and my body got really hot, and I seen the hammer, and I picked up the hammer, and I stood on top of the counter, and I hit her in the head with the hammer, and she screamed out, what the fuck? And then I jumped off the counter, and then I hit her again with the hammer, and again, and then the dog Champ came out, because he heard her yelling, and he nipped me in the back of the leg, and I hit him with the hammer, and he stopped and went behind the couch, and my mom ran to the door, and I pushed her. Hold on a second. I pushed her, and then he kept hitting her in the head with the hammer. I don't know how many times, just kept hitting her. And there was blood everywhere. And I didn't want my son to get up because he was sleeping in his room. And I don't want her to hear. I don't want him to hear her. So when she was laying there, I took her by the hands and dragged her into the bathroom. And then I hit her again in the bathroom. And she said, Sarah, you could use my car. I'm sorry, you could use my car. And at that point, there was just so much blood everywhere. And I told her I'm sorry, and I loved her. And then I laid her down on the ground, and I tried to choke her because she was gurgling, and I didn't want her to be suffering. And so I tried to choke her, and I couldn't because it was so slippery. There was so much blood. And then I just left her there. And I went into the kitchen and got the duct tape, and I duct taped her leg because I didn't want her to get out of the bathroom and walk out and then tell on me. And so I tied her legs up, and I seen that she wasn't breathing anymore.
As Sarah breaks down in tears, she admits to killing her mother. After striking her with a hammer, she attempted to strangle her. Before leaving the house, she bound her mother's hands and feet with duct tape so she couldn't call for help. This final act reflects a calculated effort to control, dominate, and incapacitate the victim. In forensic psychology, such behavior often signals cold, instrumental intent, traits frequently associated with psychopathic or sociopathic offenders.
And then I went and I heard my son get up, and he's saying, where's Mom? Where's Mom? And I said, Mom's fine, baby. And I took him into the living room and put cartoons on, and then I started cleaning up the blood. There was blood everywhere, and there was using towels and anything I could find to clean up the blood. And then I cleaned up myself and got to put clothes on, and I took her Mac cards, and I took my son, I packed a couple of days worth of clothes, and I left, and I went to the Mac machine and pulled out, I think it was $600, and I went to McKeesport and got a brick of heroin, and I went to the motel room with my son, and he was playing, and I called my friend because I didn't know how to shoot heroin. I never shot it before, and I really wanted to because I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And she came over and she did heroin with me, and she shot me my first time. She showed me how to do it, and then for the past 4 or 5 days, I was just strung out on heroin. And then I finally went back to the house, and then I got, I see that there's still blood everywhere. So I went to the Walmart, I think it was Saturday night, with my son, and I put, I got contractor bags and 409 cleaner with bleach and vinegar and washcloth and 2 sponges and hand gloves, and I put it on a big bin, and I walked out of Walmart with it, and I went back to the house, and I cleaned up the mess, and I wanted to put my mom in bed, but I just couldn't go to the bathroom, and instead I just got high. And then after the money was gone and the dope was gone, I left. It was the 7th, and I was going to go to my baby dad's court date, and it got canceled, and I was speeding for dope, and I went and robbed the PNC bank, and then I got pulled over and arrested.
Okay, Sarah, let's go back. The incident at the trailer, what's the address of the trailer? Okay, who lives at the trailer?
Me, my mom, and his dad was staying there, but he got arrested in jail.
And your mom's name?
Dawn Marie Wagner.
And the father of your child, what's his name? Okay. So you're saying that it all started over a confrontation, argument, dispute over car keys. So the vehicle is owned by who?
My mother.
Your mother? And why wouldn't she allow you to take the vehicle?
Because I'm pretty sure she seen out I was dope sick, and I'm pretty sure she knew I was gonna go buy dope, and she didn't want me to do that. But I was just so sick.
Okay, so prior to the assault on your mom, did your mother go to work that day?
Mm-hmm.
And in the bedroom sleeping, correct? So mom came home from work roughly what time?
6:30.
That's the normal time that she comes home from work? What time does she usually come home from work?
About 5:30.
Was there a reason why she come home at half hour? You know why she come home a half hour later, approximately half hour?
She wouldn't tell me. She said she needed to think about a few things.
Yeah, your mom owns the vehicle. What kind of vehicle? What's the make and model of the vehicle?
Chevy, the small Chevy, looks like a Cobalt.
Okay.
I don't know the exact name.
2-door, 4-door?
4-door, it's red.
Red color?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's mom's vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the vehicle that you wanted to take? And she refused to give you keys? Okay. Okay, so the first of all, you got the hammer from where?
The kitchen drawer,
Kitchen drawer? Did you remove anything else from the kitchen drawer?
the duct tape.
A roll of duct tape? Okay. So the first strike, you're behind your mom, and you hit her in the head. And then from there, did your mom fall to the ground at that point?
No, she got up and said, she looked at me and said, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
And that's when I jumped off the counter and started hitting her.
Sarah, where was your mom sitting when you first hit her?
On the left seat. It was right in front of the counter, like right in front of the kitchen counter. Like her back was like towards the kitchen, so she couldn't see me. And she was watching TV and smoking a cigarette.
And you said you got the hammer from the kitchen cabinet, correct?
The kitchen drawer.
Kitchen drawer. Was the hammer out for a while, or did you just grab it right at that time when you made that decision to hit her?
I just grabbed it.
Alright, so you struck her one time. Her response was, "Ow, what the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
Did she fall to the ground at all?
No, she didn't fall to the ground until I got off the counter and struck her again and again and again.
At that time, was she still sitting on the chair?
No, she fell by the TV.
In the living room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she fell to the ground. Describe to me what happened after that.
After that, Champ, the big dog, her big dog came out and heard her yelling, and he tried to stop me by nipping the back of my leg, but I hit him with the hammer in the head, and he stopped and went behind the couch, and that's when she ran to the door, but I pushed her out of the way.
The front door of the trailer residence?
Yes.
Okay. Did your mom leave the trailer?
No.
Okay. So she ran towards the door.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, what happened?
I pushed her, and then she fell to the ground in the kitchen, and I just started hitting her again in the head with the hammer.
Sarah, did your mom attempt to defend herself or stop the attack?
Yeah, when we were in the living room by the TV, she tried putting her hands up and blocking and tried to grab hold of my arm, my hands. But it was slippery.
Was she already bleeding by then?
Yeah.
Okay, while she's trying to defend herself, what did you do after that point, after striking her in the kitchen?
She was just laying there, like motionless, and so I thought she was dead. So I dragged her to the bathroom, and I laid her down, and she said she wasn't dead, and then she said, "You could use my car, you could use my car." And then that's when I tried to choke her, but there was just too much blood and I couldn't grab hold of her neck.
After the attack, Sarah says her mother was still conscious. According to her statement, her mother told her, "You can take my car." Sarah does not react to this in any noticeable way. She doesn't express confusion, emotion, or remorse. Instead, she continues explaining how she left the house. The absence of any visible emotional response, especially after such a statement, suggests a high level of emotional detachment.
Okay, sir, so you grab your mom while she's on the ground in the kitchen. How did you grab her? You grab her by her arms. At this point, is she fighting, squirming around at all? Okay, so you grab her by her arms.
Like that. Like she was like.
Her arms are up in the air.
Yeah.
Her feet are on the ground, and you're just pulling her backwards. Okay? So you pull her through the kitchen, through the living room, and down the hallway. And you take her where?
Into the bathroom.
Into the bathroom. And the bathroom's located where in the trailer?
In the back of the trailer.
At the far end of the hallway? Okay. While you're dragging him, your son is still sleeping in his bedroom to your left? Okay. So you drag your mom down the hallway to the rear of the trailer. All right. She's now in the bathroom. Okay. Tell me what happened in the bathroom.
In the bathroom, I remember I hit her in the bathroom, I think like once or twice again, and that's when she said, "You could use my car, I'm sorry, you could use my car." And then I told her I'm sorry and I love her, and then that's when I tried to choke her, because she was gurgling and I just didn't want her to suffer. And I thought she was dead, and then I heard her get up. So I went and got her and took her into the living room and put cartoons on. And he's like, "Where's Mom? Where's Mom?" And I said, "Mom's fine, baby." And then I got the duct tape and I went back into the bathroom, and she was motionless, wasn't breathing, and I tied her legs up because I just thought, you know, she might get up, she might wake up.
Okay. So you say you tried to strangle her, or you did strangle her?
I tried, but I couldn't, like...
Were you standing behind her or in front of her?
Like this.
Over top of her while she's on the ground?
Yeah.
Were you straddling over?
Yeah.
What position was your mom in?
She was like laying on her back by the wall.
Between the door
and the counter.
and the sink?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You also said you struck your mom with the hammer in the bathroom? How did the hammer get back into the bathroom area?
Because I brought it with me.
When?
When I was dragging her, I was carrying it with me, and I was pulling her.
So once you got her in the bathroom, then you decided to check on your son's.
No, he got up.
Okay, he got up,
Mm-hmm.
and you met him before he was able to come down the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the hammer at this time?
In the bathroom.
Okay. So you reassured that everything's okay, okay?
The cartoons on
In the
board.
living room, turn on the television, cartoons, or he's watching cartoons, you go back into the bathroom.
No, I went into the kitchen and got the duct tape.
Okay. And then you got the duct tape, went back down, put the duct tape on your mom,
On her legs.
on her legs,
I crossed her legs and put duct tape around it.
around her upper legs, lower legs,
Lower legs, her ankles.
around her ankles. Okay. Did you put duct tape on her anywhere else? And the reason why you did put the duct tape on her was for what reason?
I didn't want her to get up, and I thought that she was going to get up and go outside and tell me, like tell somebody. And I didn't want that to happen, and I didn't want to get in trouble.
But at this time, mom's pretty much unresponsive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you thought maybe there's a possibility she was going to get up.
I thought maybe she was unconscious or something.
Okay. All right, so you put the duct tape on mom, you leave the bathroom, you attend to your son. Tell me what happened after that.
After that, after I duct taped her, and I seen that she wasn't breathing anymore, I started cleaning up, like my face. I had blood on my face, and it was on my hands, it was all over me. And I changed my clothes, and I started to wipe up all the blood in the hallway, in our living room, and in the kitchen.
Okay.
And then I went back into the bathroom and got the hammer and threw it in the garbage and threw the rags in the garbage. And
What garbage? The bathroom garbage or where?
kitchen.
The kitchen garbage? Okay.
And then I put the duct tape back on the counter
The counter where?
in the kitchen.
Okay.
And then I got some clothes for and I got my mom's wallet, her IDs, and her cards. And I went to this guy in the car and went to the Sunoco.
Okay.
And then I went to the Newburyport and got a brick heroin. And then I stayed at the Highland Terrace Hotel for a couple days. And I didn't know how to shoot, so I called my friend to come over to help me.
Okay.
It's Sarah, real quick. Do you know what clothing you were wearing when you attacked your mom?
I was wearing Eeyore pajama bottoms, and it was like a long white sleeve. I think it was a Steelers shirt. Long sleeve Steelers shirt.
And what did you use to clean up the scene?
towels and rags that I found around the house.
Any cleaning products at that time?
There was, like, clean bathroom stuff that I used, but it didn't really work that well. That's why I went to Walmart and got all the cleaning supplies.
And just for the record, you know, I know you said, what was the primary area where you were striking your mom with the hammer?
In the kitchen.
I mean, what was the primary area on her body?
Her head.
Her head?
Was she struck anywhere else on her body other than her head?
I don't think so.
If you can remember, Sarah, do you remember what your mom was wearing?
I know, I'm pretty sure she was wearing zebra striped pants. That little kind of shirt she was wearing.
Remember the clothes she wore to work that day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so roughly what time did you leave the trailer after the assault?
It's probably like 7:30ish, close to 8.
That's PM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you leave the house, you gather some belongings, clothing for yourself and for your son.
And toys for him.
Okay. And I believe you said you met up with a friend
Well, she came over
to the hotel.
to the motel,
What motel was that?
Highland Terrace Motel.
Highland Terrace, and that's located where?
Route 30, it's either North Huntington or North Sales.
Okay.
What's last name?
I don't know her last name. I know she lives in North Sales though.
Where at?
It's right by the, she didn't know anything about me hurting my mom or anything else.
You contacted her, or she contacted you, and arrangements were made? You contacted her. Okay.
I owed her a couple of bags of hair. And I asked her, I said, why don't you come over and we'll hang out and I'll give you, your hair that I owe you, but just can you help me shoot up? I never did before.
Okay, so when you left the trailer, did you have any money on you? Any checks, any credit cards, debit cards, or anything like that? What did you have?
I had all my mom's debit cards and her checkbook and her identification, her social security card.
And these items were where? Originally?
Originally they were in her purse,
And the purse was at the house or in your mom's car?
at the house, on the counter.
Okay. All right, so you leave the residence with your mom's belongings, purse, debit card. Did you stop and get cash? Did you use these debit cards anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Last time ago I used the Pinnacle account to get the money out, and then I used the Pinnacle one to get the room for a couple nights, and I paid cash some nights for the room, and then I used the choice checking to get cigarettes and food and stuff like that for the motel.
Okay. So the first transaction was made at, you said Sunoco, and that's on, where's that located?
I believe it's Route 66, Delmont.
Route 66 in Delmont? Okay. And that's just north of Route 22?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the Sunoco, if you're traveling southbound on Route 22, Sunoco on your right?
Yes,
Okay. ATM's inside or outside?
inside.
Okay. So how much did you withdraw during that transaction?
$600.
$600. Okay. So you leave there, and then where do you go?
Straight to the dope dealer.
Okay.
Who's your dope dealer?
Now, where do you meet?
In Midtown, East and Keysport, downtown Keysport, Midtown.
Okay. Can you describe?
He's tall, black, and he has a little bit of a goatee, looks fairly young, and he always wears like a hat, like a cap.
How young do you think?
I don't know, my age, maybe a little younger.
Okay, about 23, 24? Okay, you're what, 24? You're 25. Okay, so he's around your age. Okay, so you say this mid, that's a housing development, housing project?
Yeah,
High rise, one building? That's in downtown McKeesport. Okay, so you meet with, okay, and you purchase your hair. Okay. And then from there, you go where?
to the motel.
Back to the motel on Route 30. Where's your son at this point? He's with you? He's with you when you went and met with? Huh? Okay. Now this is prior to meeting with? Okay. So then you go back to the motel and that's when you contact? Okay.
Did you make any other credit cards or debit card withdrawals prior to going back to the motel that day?
Yeah, I got some cigarettes and something to drink and something to eat.
Where at?
McDonald's. Got McDonald's. And took it back to the motel.
What McDonald's? Which McDonald's?
The one in Keysport.
The Olympia Shopping Center? Do you use the credit card or debit card?
The credit card.
Okay, so we're still on Tuesday, the 31st, correct? Did you go anywhere else that night?
No.
Okay. The following day, did you go anywhere that day? The first, New Year's Day?
No, I just stayed at the motel and came over again and we got high. And then the next day, I stayed in, got high. And the next day, stayed in and got high.
So you're still with?
Well, she would come over in the morning.
Okay. So how many days did you stay at this motel?
About 4 or 5 days.
Okay, so the first day we're going with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Saturday morning.
You stayed there for 5 days, 5 nights? Well, 5 days. So you left Saturday morning?
Around to about, he let me stay there a little bit later because I just rented the room for so long, so I left there about 2 o'clock
Okay.
on Saturday.
So Saturday, tell me about your day Saturday.
Saturday, I went and got, I think it was like 3 bundles, and then I went back to my house, the trailer, and I got high again, and then later that evening I went to the Walmart and got the cleaning supplies and the blue bin, and I went back to the house and I took the Christmas tree down and the Christmas decorations down, and I cleaned the entire house, like the floors and everything.
After several days of using drugs in a motel, Sarah says she returned to the house, not to face what happened, but to clean it up. She bought cleaning supplies and tried to remove any trace of the crime. This kind of response points to a detached and task-driven mindset. She isn't reacting emotionally. She's executing a plan, not like someone overwhelmed by guilt, but like someone trying to regain control.
Okay, this is on Saturday. Okay, this is day number 4 after the incident that happened at the trailer. Okay. So you left the trailer, you met, did you have telephone communication with anyone else other than me? Did you decide to call anyone? Did you decide to call the police, medics, anything? Okay, so your mom is in the trailer. At this point, do you think she's dead? Okay, you feel that she's dead at this point. No phone calls. All right, so you go about your day on Saturday. Okay. What about the following day?
Sunday.
Sunday.
I just stayed at the house. Me and Skylar stayed at the house, and I was gonna put my mom in the blue bin, but I couldn't go back into the bathroom, and so I just got high.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to this blue bin. You purchased that where?
Walmart. I didn't purchase this bullet.
That was on Saturday? Okay. So tell me about your trip to the Walmart.
Me and my son went to Walmart, and I got the food bin and the cleaning supplies and the contractor bags, and then walked out of the Walmart and put it in the car. And then me and my son drove back to, I got McDonald's for my son, and then we drove back to the house.
Okay, this is Saturday evening. About what time?
Probably around like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Now, is this the first time you've been back to this trailer since you left on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're back at Mom's trailer. Okay, you have cleaning supplies, a large bin. Can you describe this bin? How big was this bin?
It was about as big as me. It was blue.
Like how large, how high off the ground is this bin?
Like that high.
Okay,
And then from here to like as big as my body.
okay.
Be a little bit smaller.
Now, what were your intentions with this bin? I mean, it's a large bin. What were your intentions?
Put my mom in there.
To put your mom into this bin. Okay. Now, were you gonna do this by yourself? Did you have help?
I did it myself.
You're gonna do it by yourself? So that was your main goal, you were gonna put your mom in the storage bin. Alright, so you never did that, so at this point you decided to clean the place up. Okay? Cleaning supplies, alright? What area of the house did you clean up?
The kitchen floor, and like, little bit of the cabinets, and then the, entrance to like the house, where the door is at, front door, and then the living room, by the TV, and then the hallway, and then, back by the bathroom, and then I stopped.
So when you say clean up, like a weekly cleaning, what were you cleaning up?
The blood.
The blood from your mother? Okay. What did you do with the cloths, the rags, towels? Threw in the garbage? In the trailer? In the same garbage where you put the hammer? Did you discard any of the clothing, anything else, anywhere else? Okay. So the clothing that you were wearing on Tuesday in your bedroom, where at?
On the floor in my closet.
Okay. Alright, so you do a little cleaning in the pretty much the entire trailer, okay? You left your mother in the bathroom?
You couldn't go in there.
Couldn't go in there? Couldn't bear to see the sight of your mom in there?
No. Just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't hear. Just one side was kind of high. Just forgot.
Well, you were there a couple of days, at Friday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. How did you go to the bathroom?
I went in a little bucket, and then talked outside and stuff. He just goes in his pull up.
Okay, so you're saying that you stayed at the house Saturday, Sunday, also Monday?
Monday, I left
Where'd you go?
to the hearing, to my boyfriend's hearing, the 7th.
That would have been Tuesday.
Pretty sure it was Monday, the 7th. At 1.
That was the same day you got arrested, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's Tuesday.
That was Tuesday.
Sarah, do you remember if anyone,
You sure it's Tuesday? Because I swear it was Monday.
7th was on a Tuesday.
alright, so that weekend, the time that you're there, do you remember anyone coming over to the house?
No.
No visitors, any phone calls, did your mom receive any phone calls?
My mom received messages from her friends and phone calls from her boyfriend. But after that, told Mark you that, I heard I act like my mom. I said my back gave out, and I just talked like she would. And then my dad called one time, and I told him that I was busy, and I'll call him back later.
Okay, so when you say you have a conversation with these people, telephone conversations, text conversations,
Text conversation.
and these text conversations were made on what? Mom's phone, your phone?
On my own phone.
Your mom's phone. So you received text messages on your mom's telephone from coworkers, and you acted as if you were your mother. You responded to these messages acting as if your mother was responding. All right.
What friends or coworkers do you remember attempted to contact your mom?
Her friend, and then her boyfriend, and then my dad tried to call.
Anyone else tried to contact her, either call her or text her?
My grandmother, but I didn't answer.
Now, did you have a conversation with your father?
No.
Okay, he was only trying to get a hold of your mom through her phone and via text.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is over the weekend, roughly. Do you remember what day?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay, going back to your mom's phone, did you take it with you the day of the assault?
Yeah.
And were people texting her while you were at the motel? Like that Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah, her
Thursday?
boyfriend was.
And you were responding back. So you would have been in the motel.
And this is your mother's boyfriend. So basically, this all started over a disagreement with one of your mom's vehicle, and the fact that you're addicted to heroin.
Yeah.
And the result of your addiction made you
To my mom.
turn on your mom.
Did you tell anyone or talk to anyone about what happened?
You never told me. On.
Let's go back to when you left the motel that Saturday. How did you pay for it? How were you paying for the motel?
I didn't take the motel Saturday after I left.
Okay. How were you paying for the motel?
With a credit card, the Pinnacle credit card.
You paid daily. And you said when you left the motel, you went and bought maybe 3 bundles of hair. Who did you buy that off?
One of my friends,
Who was that?
I don't know his name, she got it for me.
Where at?
It was in the Keysport in Grandview.
In Grandview. And while you were staying, you said at that motel at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you left Saturday. Did you use any of your mom's debit or credit cards anywhere other than paying for the motel?
I got a pizza.
Where at?
Had it delivered to the motel.
You know what pizza shop?
You know,
Did you go to any Mac machines or anything else? Any stores where you used a credit card or debit card?
yeah, I got a cigarette stuff.
You know where?
It was the gas station was just for host. I really stuck it in it.
Gas station, Dunkin' Donuts in North Versailles. Where else did you use the card?
What was it?
Now, you went back to the house on Saturday, is that correct? Eventually, that led you to go to Walmart in Delwood, which you said was around somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock at night. Do you remember what entrance or exit you came in and out of Walmart?
That's an entrance.
Is there only one entrance or there's two? Usually,
There's two.
so you remember which one was it though?
The one on the far right.
The one on the far right? And did you exit the same? And was with you or was he in the car? You were holding him, carrying him?
He was in the buggy.
And when you went there, you went to get certain items, is that correct? What items did you steal? You remember stealing?
I remember stealing a bin and a contractor bag and the 409 bleach cleaner and the vinegar and the wash rags and the 2 sponges and the gloves. Rubber gloves.
Did you do any, did you look at a computer or anything to check what cleans blood?
No,
You didn't do any research on how to clean blood?
I just was looking at supplies.
Then you went back to the house. Did you clean that night? Going back to the hallway area. The hallway that leads from the living room towards the bedrooms and bathroom. Is that carpeted?
No, there's a throwaway down there.
The throw rug? Is it the whole length of the?
Kind of.
Did you do anything with that?
I rolled it up and put it in the hamper.
And when did you do that?
That night that I went home.
The night you killed your mom. Tuesday you went to the hearing, it was canceled, and then you subsequently got arrested for the robbery at PNC. You were in your mom's car.
Correct.
So what day was the robbery at PNC?
I thought it was Monday, but I guess it's Tuesday.
It was the day of your boyfriend's
Hearing.
scheduled hearing.
Did you intend on killing your mother?
I didn't. I just wanted to use her car to get high. I could get high.
And you asked mom and she said no.
You got angry.
I got very angry. Because I really wanted
You really
to
wanted.
get high. Because I was so sick. I didn't want to feel that pain anymore.
All right, Sarah. Thank you. Right now it is 16:25 hours. That concludes our interview. Thank you, Sarah.
If there's any questions, you can sit in here for a minute. If there's any other questions, we'll come back and ask you. All right, we're going to keep the audio and video recording running, okay? See if someone will sit with you, either myself or another trooper, one trooper over. Go down and ask, I'll stay with them. You want some crackers?
I want a cigarette.
All right, we can't smoke in here.
Wasn't there pictures of my mom with it?
You know, there's a fingerprint, which we believe was obviously yours in the bathroom. It was stuff that we were, like you said, that's all. So it's a fingerprint, a blood fingerprint, was in the bathroom.
Okay, sir, real quick. You gave a nice statement. Is there anything else you'd like to add to your statement?
I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to kill my mom. I didn't plan it. I was just really dope sick.
Mm.
I know it wasn't right to destroy mom and get it in my blood that night.
Okay.
Did you make any attempt to put her in the bin?
No. I didn't go in the bathroom.
And I think you already told us, but when she went for the front door during the attack, you pushed her into the kitchen. And it caused her, she fell.
All right, sir. Think you were treated rather fairly here with the state police?
Yeah.
Okay, no threats or anything? Okay,
So very nice.
all right. Thank you very much.
I'm going to turn off the audio recording. It's 16:28 hours. All right, sir?
In 2016, Sarah Vercauteren was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Her case remains a chilling example of how easily a person can shift from everyday life to something unthinkable. It's that contrast between her demeanor and the violence she describes that leaves the lasting impression. If this case gave you something to think about, feel free to join us for the next one. Thank you for watching.